This is a step-by-step guide on how to animate your camera object using Updeck and OBS Studio. I'm going to expand the camera to full screen and then shrink it down to another area on screen. So I've got a nice blank screen called Home here in OBS. I'm going to add in my webcam. I'll just call it camera. Okay, we are on. Now with the object selected, with the red box border around it, right click, go to the transform menu and then pick edit transform. Now for Updeck to resize items, they have to have a bounding box type, and by default there are no bounds, so I'm going to change that to scale to outer bounds. Now positional alignment by default is top left, which means the pivot point of the object is the top left. So if I just add 30 degrees rotation, you'll see that the camera object there rotates around its top left corner. Now I'm going to add some rotation later on, and I want it to rotate around the centre, so let's just pick centre and we'll set the rotation back to 0. So positional alignment centre, bounding box type, scale to outer bounds. You can now drag the camera and let it snap back into position. Now if you lose track of this box, if it goes behind the main window or you close it down and you want it back again, just right click on the object, go to the transform menu and select edit transform, and you have these details there. So now let's program one of the buttons in OBS to reset the camera to this size and position. So I'll pick the top left button, so press and hold the button till the setup screen appears. Button label, I'll call it full screen. Now the button group, I'm going to use the special group asterisk, which means this will be a toggle button with 2 states, so I can use the same button to expand the camera and then shrink it down again. So select the colour, and I'm going to add in one command. Description, I'll put expand, and the command is animate. Now the animate command needs to know which object you're going to target, so we need to give it the scene name and the item name. Now the scene name in OBS is home, but Updeck has a built-in scene called _current, which always uses the current scene in OBS. So I will say scene equals, and I'll use the _current, so the current scene, and tell it that item equals camera. Now it's case sensitive, it has to be the way the item appears in OBS, so capital C. And I'll set the size and position. So first off, the position, it's going to be X and Y is going to be 640 and 360. So X equals 640 and Y equals 360. Now for the size of the object, it's the bounding box size that we're interested in. So in this case, it is the size of the screen. It's 1280 by 720. So W for width equals 1280, and H for height equals 720. Now the next two parameters define the animation. I'm going to split the animation into 20 steps and 10 milliseconds between each step. I find that those settings work quite well. You can experiment. Depends how quick or how smooth you want your animation, but you can find out which settings you prefer. So I'm going to put in steps equals 20. So 20 steps and 10 milliseconds between each step. So interval equals 10. Now I want the transition to start off quickly and then decelerate as we get to the target position. So I'm going to use ease out. Updeck has got a couple of basic easing effects built in called ease in and ease out. So easing equals ease out. Press the green tick to save, and then save again. Now because it's a toggle button, if I press the button, we get to its other state, which is undefined. If I press it again, we've got the full screen back. Now rather than type in all those button parameters again for the command to shrink the camera back down, let's just press and hold the button while it says full screen. We get to the button setup screen now. The amber buttons at the bottom left are copy and paste. So I'm going to press the one to the left, which is copy, and copy all that information. We can then just hit the red cross button just to cancel out of here. Press the button to get to the other state. This is the state we want to program to shrink the camera back down again, so press and hold the button. Then use the second amber button to paste the button config back in. So we've copied the full screen expansion command into this button. So let's edit this, and let's just call it corner. We'll select a different colour. Now to edit the command expand, let's just click on it on the list. Click the gear icon underneath. And for the description, we'll change that to shrink. Now the animate command is exactly the same, except now we're going to shrink the camera down to another area of the screen. So let's go back to OBS. Let's reposition the camera to wherever you want it to go to. That should be fine. Now so that you don't accidentally move the camera about or resize it, we can click on the padlock icon and lock it. If we go back to the transform box, again if you close that or lose track of it, you can right click on the object, transform, and edit transform. You'll get the current information. So the new position is going to be 153, 518, so X coordinate. Let's just tap on it on the list and edit it. It's going to be 153 is a new position, so 153. The new Y position is 518, so 518. Now again, the size of the object, it's the bounding box size that we're interested in here, so it's 305 by 170. So the width is now going to be 305. And the height, 170. 170. Okay, I'll leave steps, interval and easing as they are. So save again. Now top left button and update should connect us onto OBS. Now we press the button, it's already in the corner state, so nothing's going to happen. Now the button changes to full screen, so let's press it. It expands the camera to full size of the screen. Press the button again, and we're back to our corner position. Now while the button says full screen on it, let's just press and hold again. Let's add something else in. We spoke earlier on about the rotation, so let's edit this expand command. So click on the expand command in the list, then click the gear icon below to edit. I'm going to add in an extra parameter. Let's just add in R for rotation equals 180. So we're going to rotate the camera 180 degrees as it expands. So let's save that. And press the green arrow buttons just to save everything, the green ticks. Now when we click we're offline. When you edit buttons, update goes into offline mode while you're editing, so you always have to press that top left button again to connect. But we're not finished editing yet. Let's just press that button, and when the button says corner, let's press and hold it again, because when we shrink back down to the corner, we want the camera to rotate back to 0 again. So let's click on that shrink command in the list, tap the gear icon. Again, we're going to add an extra parameter. So I'm going to say R for rotation equals 0. Let's save that. So let's connect updeck to OBS again. So when we press full screen, it should expand the camera and rotate it 180 degrees. When we press the button to shrink back to the corner, it should rotate it back to 0 degrees again. So I hope that's useful. Have fun.